Welcome to this video explaining the setup of slave relays in the Suction Group Controller plugin. The purpose of slave relays is to activate relays of other nodes. For example, the relay could be at the rack and the other node is located elsewhere at a distance far from the relay. In that case, we can benefit from the closeness of the Suction Group Controller node to the rack to activate the relay associated to the output of that other node. The Suction Group Controller supports up to 8 generic relays for this purpose. Make sure that you are in edit mode. There is a slave relay button, and on the caption it is indicated how many slave relays are configured. For now, there is none. Click on this button to open the slave relay configuration window. We can add slave relays by clicking on the green plus button. We can have up to 8 slave relays. We can also delete them by clicking on the buttons with the red X on it. Let's set up one slave relay. We want to use this slave relay to associate it to a heat reclaim status on a rooftop unit that is part of my configuration. We will select RTU1 for the node and NVO HR status 1, which is the network variable for the status of the heat reclaim. We can change the name of the slave relay. Let's call it RTU1 Heat Reclaim 1. When we click on the config button, we can change a configuration between normally open and normally closed. And we can also apply an override in the same fashion as for a regular relay. Click OK to close this window. We can see that we haven't captured yet the state of this network variable. Click OK to close the window and apply the change. Notice that the caption of the slave relay button captures that there is one slave relay configured. Go in the I/O Assignments tab and assign a relay for the slave relay. So we have here the name that we had given to the slave relay, and apply the change. Go back in the Process tab. Let's click again on the Slave Relay button to open the Slave Relay configuration form. We can see that the state of the relay is captured and that there is an history button that was added for the slave relay. Let's click on it. In the history configuration form, there is an option to capture the slave relay as a measure point and another one to determine if this measure point is droppable. The current value of the relay is also captured in this form. And there's a link to open the trend graph of the value of the relay. If we change the configuration of the slave relay to be normally closed, when we access the trend graph, we will eventually see the transition of the value of the slave relay. So we have completed the setup of a slave relay.